let's start with nouns. What is a noun, and why should you even care what a noun is? I know we learned this in second grade, but since then our vocabulary has expanded so immensely. The way we communicate, the way we talk, the things we say, the lengths of our spoken sentences has evolved so much since we started back when we were just elementary school children. Why we need to know about nouns as an adult is because we want to take those more complex thoughts and convey them in a written manner that sounds intelligent, that makes us look great on paper, and that conveys exactly what we're attempting to convey in a logical manner. So a noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. If you had forgotten, hopefully this will refresh your memory on nouns. It is a person, place, thing, or idea. Nouns can be concrete or they can be abstract. Remembering the two will help you to remember the idea. We don't want to leave out the idea because the people, places, and things are typically very easy to spot in most sentences. But the ideas, sometimes we lose sight of the idea and we don't readily identify that. And this becomes important when we begin to search through our written communication to try to pick out the different parts of speech and the different sentence pieces that we want to form together to make a logical, coherent, structured sentence. So we don't want to forget the ideas. So concrete nouns are generally things that are tangible. There are ink pens, our papers, our cameras, our hairbrushes, anything that we could touch ourselves, children, our neighbors, our friends, our pets, or nouns can be abstract. The abstract, again, is going to be the idea. It's things you can't touch, and it's something that everyone is going to perceive a little bit differently, things that need to be further defined by the individual person. Things such as feelings can be abstract. Sadness to me might be completely different than sadness to you, and there are varying degrees. Sadness isn't, you can't touch it, it's something that you feel, it's something that is going on internally. That is an abstract noun. Other things, there are lots of different emotions, all of our different feelings, anything that would be internal is going to be abstract. Different concepts such as beauty. So beauty means something different to everyone. You could look at something and just think, wow, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and someone else could walk right past it and not give it a second thought. So things like beauty, anything that is open to interpretation or that could mean one thing to another, to one person, and something totally different to another person, those are going to be our abstract things. So those are nouns. So every noun is going to be either abstract or concrete, and every noun is either going to be common or proper. So now we have two different ways of identifying our different categories of nouns. For our common nouns, those are going to be nouns that are very general. They're not going to have a name. If I was walking along the beach and I pointed to a particular pile of rocks and I started talking about a rock, no one would know which particular rock I was talking about. It's simply a pile of rocks with no particular guidance as to which one. Other things that are common nouns are going to be just in general: bridges, cities, people, dogs, animals, friends, right? None of those give you an indication as to which specific person, place, or thing that I am referring to. However, our proper nouns are going to be the opposite. They're going to name something very specific. If I have an ink pen, it's just an ink pen. If there's a jar of ink pens, it could be one of 50. If I'm referring to my big pen, in my cup of pens, that is going to narrow it down. As I only have one big pen, someone could walk over to my pen cup and know exactly which pen I am referring to and bring me the correct pen I'm requesting. The reason why we want to be able to distinguish between common and proper is because the first letter in common nouns is lowercase, but the first letter in a proper noun is going to be uppercase. You do not want to mix this up. It doesn't appear very intelligent if you're writing and you're mixing up your capitalization. So if I were to just have a sentence that said, I went to visit the bridge yesterday, the word bridge would be, the first letter would be lowercase because bridge is common. It's not referring to any specific bridge. If I told that sentence to friends, they would then have to ask, which bridge are you referring to, unless it's something that we have in common that they know that we've discussed before. But if I just said I went to the bridge, they wouldn't know specifically which bridge. So bridge, the B would be lowercase. It is a common noun. However, if I said that I went to the London Bridge yesterday, the L in London would be capitalized and the B in bridge would also be capitalized. Now I've given it a specific name. It's not any bridge, it is the London Bridge. We're capitalizing the L in London because London is part of the name. London is also a city, of course, but it is part of the name of the bridge. So anything that goes as a part of the specific name is going to be capitalized. Okay, now it works the same with my Bic pen. So for my pen, I would say, hey, can you bring me my Bic pen? And the B for Bic would be capitalized. It is a proper noun. So to review, we have our nouns, which are persons, places, things, and ideas. All nouns can be separated into, all nouns are either abstract or concrete, and they are also either common or proper. Our abstract nouns are things that are open to interpretation, that are not touchable, they're not tangible, and our concrete nouns are our tangible nouns that are not open to interpretation. Our common nouns are going to be nouns that are very general. They're not referring to anything in specific and it's not referencing anything by name, whereas our proper nouns are going to refer to a specific name. Amanda, Canon M50, things like that, Cupcake the dog. They're all going to be proper nouns. Remember to capitalize them. Our common nouns, they get lowercase. All right, so that is everything that you need to know about nouns. Please keep these in mind. Please practice these because as we move further into the videos, we will get to a place very shortly here where we are identifying our different parts of a sentence, and you really must be able to identify the nouns because you'll need to be able to identify your subject and your objects, and those are going to be nouns as well. So more on that in a later video. Now let's test your comprehension of nouns with a short quiz, and there is a handout as well. Once you do both of those, you can come back and I will go over the answers with you.